What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tyler Logan, and we're excited today because something great has happened. After I just did the gear review on the Universal Audio Ruby Top Boost 63, which I thought was fantastic, a friend of mine in town hit me up and said, "Hey Tyler, I actually have the UA-FX Dream 65. Which is the American version, the Fender version, if you will, the Fender version." And so he brought it by, and we're going to do a review on all things Fender, all things American, and we're going to give this a shot. Admittedly, I don't own any Fender amps currently. That doesn't mean I haven't. I've owned a Deluxe Reverb, I've owned Bandmasters, Bassmans, mostly as the heads though, like the old black face, silver face. I never owned a brown face, but I've had plenty of Bassmans and Bandmasters over the years. And I've never really been drawn to the twin sound, which is what the Dream is essentially replicating. Although I'm very familiar with the twin sound, because most of the time when you're on the road, when you're touring, there is one amp that will always be available for backline, and it is the Fender Twin reissue. Okay, and it is like, it's the most well-known thing in touring. Okay, you're gonna get a Fender Twin reverb. It's just probably a reissue. Needless to say, I've heard my fair share of this sound. So I'm excited to pit this up against the Kemper, pit this up against the Helix. I brought the Helix back. And so, yeah, let's dive into this review. All right, guys, so I've got the pedal here. All right, I've got the Dream 65, and it's got the volume, output. Obviously, that's like your pre-gain, post-gain. Got your reverb here in the middle, which hopefully sounds great. Probably that spring tank reverb thing. Got your speakers, got a greenback, Oxford, and an EV. That's probably Celestians, Jensen's. I don't know a ton about Fender speakers. And we've got, looks like up here, we've got our lead, stock, and D-Tex. So the stock is just going to be your typical Fender twin reverb. Your lead, I think what they do on the lead is they would take those bright caps off, and it kind of gives them more of a push sound. And the D-Tex is definitely Texas blues, Stevie Ray Vaughan, cranking it all the way up. So, yeah, I'm excited to hear what happens. Let's jump into the Kemper first, and then the Helix, and then this guy. Okay, we're jumping into the Kemper, and what I dialed in right here is a 64 twin reverb that I got from just the database in the cloud that you can get sounds from for Kemper. It's just a patch that somebody captured. It's from STL Tones, and it's really generic. It's just a twin reverb. I think this is captured with vintage 30s, so it's not exactly what I'm used to hearing, but I mean, just pretty. That's a good bass tone for pedals, in my opinion. You know, if we pull up to the neck. Yeah, I mean, really generic. I'm gonna come over to, there's another one down here that he captured that's got more grit on it. Okay. Yeah, this is probably more of like a pushed Fender sound. I mean, it's not bad. I don't particularly love it. here's the one a little more low end, but that's still that pushed Fender. You know, to me, that's the pushed Fender thing. I don't think that is a great representation of a Fender Twin that I'm used to hearing up close and personal. Let's move on to the Helix. All right, everybody. So what I've done on the Helix is I have dialed in on the patch that I normally use. So this is the patch that I sell with multi-tracks, the TRL all-in-one patch. I just swapped out the amp, kept the same cabs. So I have the US Deluxe normal. And that to me is probably like the most Fender Twin sound. Probably that's a similar sound to the Stream. I dialed it back a little bit on the drive to see what it sounds like. Boosted the presence from 2 to 3. And I added a double tank spring reverb and kind of pulled that down significantly, but this is kind of the result of that. And that's a good sound. Definitely for blues, if you wanted to go that way. It could also be the clean worship tone, your bass sound for that. I don't see anything wrong with that sound. I mean, pair that up with the AC30, you got magic. I'm gonna crank the gain on this a little bit. Probably, I had it at 4, I'm gonna crank it up to 6. Let's see what happens. Oh gosh, here we go. Yeah, it's got that pushed Fender thing a little bit better than the Kemper. Yeah, to me, I mean, obviously I have this patch super dialed in. That's a little bit unfair to the Kemper patch before, but I like this sound. This is a good sound. Okay, let's move on to the Dream 65. Here we go. All right, everybody. So here we are again. I've got the Dream 65 reverb amp plugged up using the good old Mexican telly. Nothing fancy, just straight in. And I've got everything right up and down the middle. So let's just see what that sounds like. That's where I usually like to base my opinion on the very beginning of a pedal. Just everything straight up and down. So here we go. Stock on the greenback looks like. First thing I notice, a lot of reverb and a lot of drive, and not a lot of output. So I'm gonna pull up this, pull back the reverb. bit still. That's not a bad sound. For the very first impression, that's a very usable sound. A little bit of that warble in the reverb, if you can hear that. I'm going to pull that back a little bit. Yeah, so this is your pre-gain, post-gain. This is more of a straight, actually let's take the reverb all the way out. I mean, that is really good. That's a very good sound. I think adding the reverb gives it more of the life that it's supposed to have. So what I'm gonna do is jump over and start messing with the speakers. So staying on the stock, I'm going to mess with the speakers, going down to the Oxford. Yeah, man, that's good. I like it. This is going to the EV12. Right off the bat, these speaker cab simulations or captures, in my opinion, are way better than the Ruby. To me, the only really usable channel on the Ruby as far as the speaker goes was the silver. Maybe the greenback, but the silver was the top notch. This one, I could use all three of those. Just depending on the guitar that I had, the situation, and we might see how they play with the other versions of the amp, which I didn't really go over yet. So this is just based off of how people will mod Fender Twin reverbs. And they're one of the most modded amps of all time. If you know anything about amp history, like Bassmans, Marshall just took a Bassman and hot rodded it. That's all they did. So all Marshall sounds derive from Fender sounds. Modding these circuits is like what people have done forever. And so now I'm going to jump back up to the GB25 speaker. Let's move it up to the lead channel. Let's see what this is. Yeah. That's a good signal. Let's pull this up. It just makes you play a certain way. So what I found on this channel is with the boost, it really kicks it up a notch, and it man. could see that being useful with the humbucker instead of a single. This pedal already is way more versatile than the Ruby. Now, I still prefer the Vox sound and the Vox platform for pedals, specifically in the praise and worship genre. But once you get outside of that genre, this is significantly more usable already. Let's move on to the D-Tex. And see how that sounds. Let's just see what we got over here. Yeah, and I imagine if you pull in the boost, it maybe. That definitely reminds me of the like pushed really hot all the way to the top Fender sound. Just for the heck of it, let's think that I really like this lead channel. Thinking for the praise and worship thing. Let's start seeing what the EQ does. Okay, we're gonna mess with the EQ a little bit. So bass. Yeah, that's a pretty good sweep. Okay, so the EQ is very, very substantial. I really like this EV12 speaker, by the way. Let's move on to messing with this alt, which I think is going to mess with the tremolo side, because all Fender Twins have that reverb and tremolo thing. So if I'm not mistaken, if I go over to alt, this is my intensity right here. Yep. It's that choppy vibrato. So yeah, I mean, it does the thing. I'm not particularly a fan of the vibrato on Twins. I much prefer the vibrato on AC30s, but it does the thing. That reverb. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, surfer rock, right? This is a fantastic pedal. I think I'm gonna do the same thing that I did for the drive and put a drive in front of it with the super overdrive and see what happens. All right, here we go. So, okay, we're back. Got the drive, super overdrive hooked up, cheap pedal, good amp sim. Let's see what we can make happen. This is my tone that I've kind of dialed in. I like that EVH12, EV12. So yeah. straight up and down the middle, man. Nothing fancy at all. This is set up more as like a tube screamer thing. Like man, I am super impressed with this pedal. This is a great pedal. Way more versatile, way better as far as just the versatility of what the Ruby brought to the table. So kudos to UA, Universal Audio, for knocking it out of the park. This pedal is amazing. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you guys think about it. My playing was a little sloppy, but I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. So it just means I need to practice more. So, all right. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.